Has there been an interaction like sorry, not allowed to use the interaction with Sandor now. Has there been an interaction with an athlete in whatever happened that they won, they lost, they were injured, that you just went, you know what? That mindset, the way that this person has framed that occurrence is something that impresses me, impressed you, Simon. And I would like to take a little bit of that and apply that to my life, my role. Have you ever had an interaction like that? Oh, you get 1,000 of them, but is there one of them that you just went, man, that was cool. I'm so lucky to have been around that athlete at this time to observe that moment. And here's what I got out of it.
Yeah, it'd be hard to boil it down to one.
You can mix a couple up, mate. It's your story.
Yeah, trying to think of something
Like
that sort
literally
of
your
led.
story. I mean, Simon, something that's happened with you that impressed you that you went, you know what, I'm going to take some of that.
Yeah, I probably see elements of it now. Like I felt that it would have been very, for want of a better word, easy to just continue the journey at Crusaders and stay with trying to keep improving on that level of success that was there. And I really saw a value in stepping away from that, getting outside my comfort zone, going over to Austin, to the US, or much lower level league, and something that's not well established and not well organized. And people would wonder why, because most people are trying to build themselves up to where I was career
Yeah,
wise. Like it's a highly sought after role, and so I was like, why would you leave that to go to this?
yeah.
And I think one thing I've realised is that because I was there as actually part of that, even to go back to New Zealand and do the same thing again now, like I've done that. So I was really fortunate to have been in that organisation and done that. So as when I start to see athletes starting to look larger than where they are and see things a little bit differently, I really enjoy that at the moment. Like I'm
Mm.
impressed by that. I think like Lester Fainga'anuku, who's stepped away from the Crusaders and the All Blacks to go over to play in France now. Like there's a financial element to looking after his family, but he's a kid who's incredible coming through school, through NPC, through Super Rugby, and for the All Blacks. And he's not somebody who's made his career and is then going overseas to finish it off. And he's not somebody who's stuck at the door and not making the All Blacks, therefore going overseas to pursue another opportunity. He's just reaching the top of his game, but choosing to go elsewhere for his own reasons. And even just listening to him speak, I think when I watched the finals for Super Rugby this year, I was less interested in watching the game and more interested in watching people speak afterwards, because I like hearing where they're coming from when
Yeah,
they speak, and the way that that Lester spoke about, be pretty open to say, like, I feel like I've in a way like dominated the South, so now he wants to go and dominate the North. And so it's seeing it
that's cool.
in a different light, in a different way. I think the way Sonny Bill Williams was able to cross over different sports, and a lot of people saw that as a real negative. But if your main driver is, I just want to constantly test myself in something new and see if I can make something of it, then okay, I've made it in league, I'll try and make it in rugby. Okay, I've won a World Cup, I've made it in rugby. I wonder if I could do boxing. Well,
Yeah,
I'm gonna, and then just like, and so people will see it as, oh, you're just chasing, all these chasing money, or trying to get yourself in the newspapers or whatever it might be. But if somebody's key driver is, um, I've achieved now, I wonder what I could do. I wonder if I could do that, and then having the courage to try it and try and do it, I find that really impressive. So I think
chasing
seeing,
what's possible, isn't it? It achieves some success, yeah, but chasing what's possible for me.
yeah, and some
Sonny
people are
Bill is a
really,
great
really,
example of that
really,
there, mate.
yeah, some are really driven by, okay, well, I've won 4 Super Rugby titles. I wonder if we can do 8, and so I'm just going to
Yeah,
stay at this team and try and win 5, and then 6, and then 7, and 8, and 9, and 10 in a row, and they feel like that's kind of what drives them. And then others, it's like, well, I've won 4. What's 5 and 6 and 7 and 8? Like, why shouldn't I try and do something else and see
mm,
if I can be good in another arena? And so, and neither is right or wrong, but I think that's probably something that I relate to, and I enjoy seeing when somebody's kind of at um, in a really great environment, they're at the top of the game, or they're in somewhere that it was like a why would you leave, but they choose to go and challenge themselves elsewhere. Yeah, for whatever reason, and there's a couple of players sort of doing that now, leaving New Zealand and leaving New Zealand rugby for different reasons, but not because they're not making it, and not because it's the end of their career, just because they're seeking a different challenge. And so I enjoy sort of seeing that, because it's something that resonates with me.